Welcome to New Hampshire, site of the first in the nation Republican primary and the campus of St. Anselm College in Manchester. Over the next 2 hours, 10 Republican candidates for president will be questioned both by journalists and ordinary people, undecided voters likely to vote in the primary next January. Before we begin, some housekeeping items. On behalf of all of us, I'd like to thank our host, St. Anselm College, and the people of New Hampshire, so the candidates don't have to use up their valuable time doing it themselves. The debate tonight will be in two halves. In the second part, we'll hear directly from some of the group that has gathered here, about 100 voters. They were brought to us with the help of the New Hampshire Institute of Politics and the New Hampshire Political Library. All of them were then spoken to personally by CNN producers. We look forward to hearing what's on their minds tonight. Working with me on that part of the debate will be Jennifer Vaughn from Hearst Argyle's WMUR-TV. But for roughly the first hour, questions will be asked directly by journalists from our debate partners. Tom Fahey of the New Hampshire Union Leader, Scott Spalding of the WMUR as well. We're more or less on the honor system here tonight. No loud bells or flashing lights. The candidates all know they have about 1 minute to respond to our partners' initial questions. If they lose track, I'll try to gently remind them, so answers might even be less than a minute. We can only hope. Then we'll spend the next 4 minutes or so following up at my discretion. I'll ask either that candidate for a follow-up question or one of the others to weigh in on that topic. We hope to get some real conversations going. Few other rules other than this. Candidates must stay on the topic of the original question. If they stray, try to answer a question on another topic, I'll stop them immediately and we'll move on to another candidate or question. That's enough from me, so let's meet the candidates. We've asked for no opening statements. However, I'd like to ask each candidate to, in one short sentence, about 5 seconds or so, to introduce themselves to the voters of New Hampshire. Let me begin with an example. I'm Wolf Blitzer, and I'm with CNN. Let's start across the stage, and we'll begin with Tom Tancredo.
Hi, I'm Tom Tancredo. I'm a member of Congress, have been for 10 years. Thank you for letting me join you here this evening.
My name is Thompson, Tommy. I'm the candidate, not the actor. I was governor for 14 years and Secretary for Health and Human Services in Bush's cabinet.
I'm Sam Brownback. Raised on a farm near Parker, Kansas. My wife Mary and I have 5 children. We live in Topeka. I'm a U.S. Senator in my 3rd term.
My name is Mitt Romney. I'm a husband, a father, a grandfather, a neighbor, and formerly governor of the Commonwealth of Massachusetts.
I'm Rudy Giuliani. I agree with the motto of your state, live free or die, and I think it'd be a pretty good one for our time.
I'm John McCain. I've had the honor of serving my country all of my life.
I'm Mike Huckabee. For 10.5 years, I was governor of Arkansas. I'm from the small town of Hope. You may have heard of it. All I ask is, give us one more chance.
I'm Duncan Hunter, 4 years chairman of the Armed Services Committee and in Congress 26 years, and I stand for a strong national defense and enforceable border, bringing back American jobs.
I'm Jim Gilmore, the former governor of the Commonwealth of Virginia, former chairman of the National Commission for the United States Government on Terrorism and Weapons of Mass Destruction.
I'm Ron Paul. I'm a congressman from Texas, serving in my 10th term. I am the champion of the Constitution.
Gentlemen, thank you very much for those brief self-introductions. Let's begin our questioning right now. Tom Fahey of the New Hampshire Union Leader with the first question.
Thanks, Wolf. Governor Romney, I wanted to start by asking you a question on which every American has formed an opinion. We have lost 3,400 troops. Civilian casualties are even higher, and the Iraqi government does not appear ready to provide for the security of its own country. Knowing everything you know right now, was it a mistake for us to invade Iraq?
Well, the question is kind of a non sequitur, if you will, and what I mean by that are null set, and that is that if you're saying let's turn back the clock, and Saddam Hussein had opened up his country to IAEA inspectors, and they'd come in and they'd found that there were no weapons of mass destruction. Had Saddam Hussein therefore not violated United Nations resolutions, we wouldn't be in the conflict we're in. But he didn't do those things, and we knew what we knew at the point we made the decision to get in. I supported the president's decision based on what we knew at that time. I think we were underprepared and underplanned for what came after we knocked down Saddam Hussein. By the way, Harry Reid was wrong. We did not lose the war in Iraq, and that's not the sort of thing you say when you have men and women in harm's way. We did, however, not do a great job after we knocked down Saddam Hussein and won the war to take him down and his military. And at this stage, the right thing for us to do is to see if we could possibly stabilize the central government in Iraq so that they can have stability and so we can bring our troops home as soon as possible. Not to do that adds an enormous potential risk that the whole region could be embroiled in a regional conflict.
Governor, thank you. But the question was, knowing what you know right now, not what you knew then, what you know right now, was it a mistake for the United States to invade Iraq?
Well, I answered the question by saying it's a non sequitur, it's a null set kind of question, because you can go back and say, if we knew then what we know now, by virtue of inspectors having been let in and giving us that information, by virtue of if Saddam Hussein had followed the UN resolutions, we wouldn't be having this discussion. So it's a